Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is TheBlackLink, and today we got some really exciting news concerning DLC Pack 3 Forsaken, the big expansion coming later this year. We've learned a bit more about Mods 2.0, expanding upon the escalation protocol, selectable strikes on your director, and even more. Now, all of this information is coming from our friends over at GameInformer, who have started a full month of exclusive content reporting concerning Forsaken. They're going to be putting out in-depth reports, interviews, and videos covering virtually everything in the expansion. And that includes a lot of things we really had no idea about. Now, this isn't the first time GameInformer's done this. You might remember quite a few years back, they did the same thing for the Taken King before it came out. They had a full month of exclusive reports, and we learned a lot of really interesting things about that expansion. And it looks like they're doing the same thing here today. Now, they started today off by putting up a 55-second trailer showing off a bunch of different really interesting aspects of Forsaken. And so, first things first, we're going to play that trailer for you here, and then we're going to get into some of the really good stuff we've learned.
Guardian. This entire month at GameInformer.com, we're covering Destiny 2's first massive expansion, Forsaken.
It's got a ton of game-changing content, and after it drops, we'll never complain about Destiny again.
We'll find something. We went to Bungie's studio and captured hours of exclusive gameplay and interviews, and we've got reveals to share all throughout the month.
We're showing off all 9 new supers.
We played a new, never-before-seen map for the PvE/PvP hybrid mode, Gambit.
We fought hundreds of the spooky new enemy faction, the Scorn.
We played some of the surprising new side activities in the Tangled Shore and the Dreaming City.
We got to mess around with a brand new exotic weapon.
And we did a series of rapid-fire questions with Forsaken's directors that goes just completely off the rails.
Do you normally do this with one person?
Yes.
So this is like not going well. This is definitely a mistake.
Harder, So head to GameInformer.com/Forsaken or subscribe to GameInformer's YouTube channel for a full month of exclusive features.
Sounds good.
And alright, coming back from that trailer, there's so much packed into that 55 seconds that's really exciting and newsworthy here. Even the very beginning, one of the first scenes we have here is a Void Warlock utilizing a new variant of the scatter grenade. You can see them charging it there for a second. They throw it forward and you see quite a few little bolts of void energy going forward that hit all of the Scorn enemies ahead. It looks like it's got pretty good damage, and it's going to be an excellent utility for clearing out a wide range of trash mobs that might be gathered up in front of you. We've already seen some of the other grenade changes coming to the other subclasses, like the healing grenades that are going to be on the new Well of Radiance Dawnblade subclass. But it's really interesting to see scatter grenades being overcharged and utilized this way, since right now they're kind of underwhelming within the game, and that's kind of sad considering how great they were with certain exotic options back in Destiny 1. Moving on from that, we get a great look at some public events in the new in-game world space, the Dreaming City. That's right, these public events are taking place in the new in-game raid world space. The first part that we see there has a Guardian attempting to defend the generator core for a rift generator. They're taking on a bunch of Scorn enemies, and they're utilizing the new arc damage exotic bow. The Trinity Ghoul, I do believe its name is. We also get to see some clips, presumably from some of the story missions or adventures, where the Guardians are hunting down a character called the Hangsman. Or the Hangman, rather, without the S. But we get some great shots of some new weapons, some new sniper rifles, a new map for the incoming PvE/PvP game mode Gambit, and a ton of other stuff, including a brand new Escalation Protocol-esque event titled The Blind Well. In this, we see a Guardian taking on a member of the Scorn. And as you can see, the HUD there is very similar to what we have right now in the Escalation Protocol on Mars. It has the objective, defeat enemies to charge the well, with a light deposited meter and the time limit that we know from Escalation Protocol. Under that, you can also see the different phases of the current wave with a boss round at the end there. So it looks like we might be getting that expansion upon Escalation Protocol that we were all asking for. This in particular has me really excited. You guys know I love the Horde mode within Destiny 2. I think Escalation Protocol is great, and I wanted to see more of it with different enemies in different locations, and it certainly looks like Bungie's going to be heading in that direction. Additionally, over the next month, we're going to be learning more about the 9 new supers and 9 new attunement trees for the 3 main classes within Destiny 2. And in this clip, we get to see a great shot of the new Solar Hammer super for Sunbreaker Titans. We get to see him coming in with a massive flaming slam on a group of Scorn, and then going into a huge spin to win against another group. It looks like it's going to be a really fun, really fast, frenetic class to play when it comes out. Kind of like the Sentinel is now, but with a gigantic hammer and a little bit more mobility. In one clip, we got to see a brand new rocket launcher that actually had 7 rockets in its inventory. That's a massive magazine size for a rocket. But of course, it's important to note this is all pre-release footage, so it could certainly change by the time Forsaken comes out. Beyond that, we also got to look at a brand new exotic auto rifle. And we actually got to learn quite a bit about this new bad boy. It's named the CERBERUS +1, and here's what the Game Informer article had to say about it. This wild new exotic auto rifle is inspired by the Contra spread gun, and it really is 4 different barrels all strapped together into one Frankenstein of a weapon. CERBERUS +1 shoots out in 4 directions at once, so it can be devastating in the right circumstances, especially if you can line up your distance from target with multiple bullet streams. Which just sounds absolutely insane. If you've never played the old school Contra games, there's a spread gun in it that shoots in multiple directions. And it looks like that's the inspiration for the CERBERUS +1. We get to see in this clip here, it's shooting in several different spots, and it looks like if you can line up all 4 of those barrels and all 4 of those bullet directions and maybe hit the same enemy, you might be able to put out some crazy damage with this thing. We get an awesome clip of it here where the Guardians are taking down a wanted target, the Gravetide Ogre. And while we can't really glean anything else about this weapon's special ability from this clip, we do know that it's an auto rifle that we've seen before. Actually, way back in the original Forsaken Vidoc, we got a very quick clip of this auto rifle being held by a Titan. And as you can see here, it's got a very unique model with multiple barrels and whatnot. Definitely interested in learning more about this thing. But alright, that pretty much covers everything we got to learn from the quick teaser put out by Game Informer. But it's not all we have to talk about today. The new August issue of Game Informer is actually out for digital platforms. That's right, if you're a subscriber to Game Informer, you can actually get a digital copy of issue 304 right now. And already reports from Game Informer Guardians are coming in talking about some of the things covered in this month's issue. In particular, some changes coming to the mod system in Destiny 2. Apparently, we're going to be losing some mods, but there's going to be a major overhaul on how the majority of them work. From the Game Informer article, apparently the goal for the mod overhaul is to make mods actually worth using, and not to overload players with a huge pool of mods. And so, these new mods will instead be geared towards specific playstyles or specific types of weapons. And so will allow you to specialize pieces of gear into preferred playstyles like increased hipfire or airborne accuracy. That's right, Icarus is coming back as a mod in Destiny 2. They also talked a bit about a mod that would increase damage to vehicles. And that in Forsaken, mods will no longer follow the 5-point system of bonuses, but instead just add a flat bonus to your armor. So basically no more +5 mods. And that, I have to say, is a major change right off the bat, utilizing mods to bring in worthwhile perks that don't exactly change how weapons work in particular, but lean into certain playstyles. If you're an aerial movement focused hunter, if you're somebody who spends a lot of time jumping around, you're going to want that Icarus mod. If you're somebody who likes using submachine guns and shotguns and whatnot at close to mid range, you might want that hipfire mod. This is the exact sort of thing I always envisioned when it came to the mod system for perks and whatnot and weapons in Destiny 2. When it was first announced over a year ago that we were going to be having a mod system, I was hoping that mod system would allow us to add or manipulate perks or stats on weapons, outside of just, the +5 damage stat for weapons. So I'm super psyched to hear that mods are going to be leaning into different playstyles now, and I'm really excited to learn about what other mods we're going to be getting. Alright, and the last thing I wanted to talk about today is a small quality of life change, or actually a huge quality of life change if you're a Destiny 1 player. According to the Game Informer August issue, individual strikes are now selectable on the director map. That's right, you can finally choose what strikes you want to run when you want to run them. Hallelujah, it's about time we got that back. Now if we could only get the same thing for story missions. That's definitely a feature from Destiny 1 that I absolutely miss, and I'm happy that we're at least getting part of it back when Forsaken drops later this year. But alright Guardians, that is going to be it for this video. There's so much more to this article. I've got it. I haven't had a chance to read through all of it yet. I just wanted to pick a few things that have popped up within the community. And we'll be covering all of the rest later, so make sure you're staying tuned. But anyways, what do you Guardians think of all of this stuff? Are you psyched to hear about more in-game activities in the vein of Escalation Protocol? Are you excited to see more of the Dreaming City? Be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But anyways, that's going to be it for this one, Guardians. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I am TheBlackLink. You Guardians, stay frosty.